Okay, so I'm back with another video, and it's a post-angioplasty video, and I'm just going to talk a little bit about the kind of benefits I've seen from the procedure. I promised in my pre-angioplasty video that I would um, post something regardless of the outcome, so that's what I'm doing. The procedure itself was great. The doctor and his staff were absolutely wonderful. They made me feel so um, relaxed and comfortable. They were just really great, and I would get this procedure with them in a second. I would get the procedure itself again because it was really nothing. It was an hour. It didn't hurt. It was a little uncomfortable while they were first getting the catheter in the vein, but other than that, it was fine. It's kind of neat because I could feel the balloon expanding the veins, and it was just, and once they expanded the veins, I could actually kind of hear the blood rushing through. It was kind of a really neat experience. So I went in. Firstly, the doctor came and spoke to me and my parents who had accompanied me on the trip. He came in and spoke to us and just told me what was going to happen, how the procedure would go, what I would experience, and just generally that kind of thing. I went in, it was about an hour, and he found blockage in my right jugular about 65, a little over 65%, and in my left jugular about 60%, and in my azygos vein 50%. So not a lot of blockage. I mean, I've heard of people having 95% blockage. So again, not a lot of blockage, but blockage nonetheless, because that was one of my main fears, that I would get there and I would have no blockage, and it would, I wouldn't know what else to do because I no longer qualify for injectables. So this was kind of my only option. So there was blockage, which turned out great. And I was in a weird space for weeks because I had friends and family praying that I would have something wrong with my veins. And when I did have something wrong with my veins, everybody was so happy and that sort of thing. So it took about an hour. After that, I was in recovery for almost 2 hours, and during which time I napped a little, got to know some of the nurses a little better, talked and joked and that sort of thing, and then I was sent back to my hotel and had a nice dinner and had a very, very good sleep. The first really good, complete sleep that I've had in 15 years. Reduced my pain medication as well, so it was fantastic sleep. Then the next day I returned to the clinic, and the doctor did some ultrasound on my veins, and just to find out if things were still flowing, and everything was still flowing, and I could leave. And a few days later, my parents and I got back on a plane and came back to Nova Scotia. And that's where I've been since July 22nd, kind of recuperating, getting fed really, really good food, and staying out of the heat, because my husband, who's still in Winnipeg, was telling me that the heat in Winnipeg is just unbelievable. So I'm glad I'm not there. Miss my husband, but glad I'm not in the heat of Winnipeg. So that really was the procedure. It was nothing to really have. They didn't really have a huge effect on my life. It was so quick. I was in, I was out. My parents were telling me that it sounded, they were sitting outside of the room reading and just waiting for me, and they said it sounded like we were having a party in there because we were all talking and laughing and joking around and that sort of thing. the kinds of things that I've seen, the benefits I've seen since the procedure, not huge dramatic benefits, but benefits nonetheless. My head, which has felt like a big block of concrete for a very, very long time, now really feels kind of open and free, and my thoughts are quicker, and I don't have the excruciating headaches that I've had for a few years really. So that's great. My eyes are better, they're stronger, I don't have as much pain in my eyes. For the longest time I had kind of a blue flashing light in the peripheral vision of my right eye, and that's gone completely. So that's excellent. What else? My parents, most of my family says I look a lot healthier, and that's great too. I don't see it. I still kind of look my same old ghostly pale self, but everyone says I look kind of much like more refreshed, or for lack of a better word. My husband says my speech is clearer, is stronger since the procedure. That's excellent. I don't search for words quite as much as I used to. My breathing has improved. Actually, since I was about 12 years old, I've had this feeling of not being able to get enough air and not being able to take a deep breath, and I've been able to do that since the procedure, so that has made me feel much better. I'm stronger, my transferings are better, I can transfer my own. The tone that I've experienced for many years, which sometimes had me straight out like a board, is gone. I've not had any problems with tone since the procedure, which is good because it means I can do things more independently and I don't need people to help me transfer and that kind of thing. My feet, which I guess it's indicative of a circulation problem. My feet were so blue and purple, they were almost black, and they were so painful. Immediately after the procedure, they were a nice, lovely, healthy pink, and they've been that way ever since. So that's great. My pulse, which was about 110 to 120 resting pulse, went down immediately to about a 90, and it's hovered around there. So I think that's either a normal pulse or at least a better pulse than 120. My numbness in my hands is much better. I can feel hot and cold. The only problem that I've really had is that I was hoping that my right hand would get a little stronger, because being a student I have to write and that sort of thing. So, but it may come. I'm seeing a physiotherapist tomorrow, and we're going to see if I can kind of build on the things that I've seen, the benefits I've gotten from the procedure. So hopefully I'll be standing a lot better for a lot longer than the 130 that I stood for in my last video. And yeah, so what I will do, see my physio tomorrow, see what she has to say, and maybe the next video I make will be of me standing. So that's it, and I will see everyone soon, and bye.